All right. Welcome, everyone. I am Rebecca Roseberry, and I have a sidekick today. If you want to introduce
Whoop, whoop.
yourself.
Hi, Erica Sloan here.
She is driving and has this cute little character of her to represent while she's driving.
Yes,
It's cute.
totally safe driving on the highway, straight road through the Midwest, so we're good.
We're good. We're good. This is good. Yeah, so I'm doing the same thing and I appreciate not I was thinking about this, preparing for this, like, oh, I just love not caring about what I look like and I could just talk. You have no idea. This is like so refreshing.
I can't wait to see
So,
my avatar. I thought I set it up, but then it's like, okay, yeah, it's not working, and so if you say it's there, it's like, oh my gosh, that's kind of cool that
oh,
I
it's
could.
perfect. Yeah.
Nice, very nice.
So you have glasses on and blue hair and a blue shirt. And I have pink hair and a pink shirt on. We're it's perfect.
Oh my gosh, it's like the epitome of the 80s. The pink and blue.
Pink and blue.
Oh wait,
So
am I dating us? Am I dating us? Is that
no.
okay?
So all right, so we're talking about medical intuition. I forget the it's like esoteric energies, the conversation of just for people just tuning in, I'm a medical intuitive nutritionist and healer. Since 2000, I am, coming from a professional place, but the natural medicine and quote unquote alternative medicine has always been in the background of my personal life since I was a teenager. And so just bringing it to the light and helping people to remember that they can heal themselves, that we don't need medical intervention to the extent that we do. In fact, I find it to be a detriment and a disservice to our soul's evolution. But that's just me. All right, Erica, take it away.
Me, okay, Erica Sloan here, and I am also a medical intuitive vibrational healer. And I have had abilities, I guess, since I was born, or just kind of came in with them. Um, yeah, not really good at talking about myself,
All right,
but
well, yeah, I'll ask some questions.
yeah, definitely. So, but finally coming out of the closet, the proverbial closet of, okay, Erica, it's time to share your gifts so that you can help people. And so um, that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So
yeah,
so let's some people don't like to even use the word gifts, and I think
yes.
and not that I don't, I don't see it right or wrong, but we all have the capacity to help others.
Mhm.
I would say in the capacity to help others, we are actually helping ourselves, so it's a win-win.
Absolutely.
And we're all in this, I'll say, my verbiage, that we're all in this shit show together. So it's nice to meet others and, for camaraderie to do all of this hand holding through this journey.
I completely agree. See, you have a way with words that I don't. It's like I have all this mess going on up in my head, and it's like to get it out of my mouth doesn't always work sometimes.
Okay, okay. Well, I mean, here we are. We're helping each other, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, but before we do get started, I do have to ask,
Yeah.
so the password for this particular Zoom call that we're on was clear. Now, was
Uh-huh.
your intention that we're going to have clear intentions, or is it more back up everybody? You know, you're rubbing the paddles together, clear, and you're shocking yourself. So, you know what? Which energy is that?
Clear is coming from a place of clarity and purity.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So we don't need the paddles today.
No, no paddles today. Clear
Okay,
is just on point.
awesome. I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yes. So, so since we chatted last, I mean, when you say come in, like, let me just put the spotlight on you for a sec.
Okay.
When, you coming out of the closet and what would you like everyone to know about you or about the quantum field or anything of that nature that you feel needs to be known on a grand scale? Like, what do you feel you have or know that you could share to help humanity, I guess?
Oh my gosh, that's a big ask, but I guess the first thing that comes to mind is be yourself. This journey that
Nice.
I've had, I guess what, almost okay, we're gonna say 49 years for now.
Okay.
Um, it's been one of just trying to fit in, but it's been a struggle in some respects. So coming out of the closet, I guess the biggest takeaway is just be yourself.
Yeah, I like that. I
Be who you
appreciate
are.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, the authenticity of who you are is what this world needs right now.
right.
And it's so important because everybody has a piece of the puzzle, per se.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing is that's, I know you don't like using the words gifts, but that's your gift to the world is who you authentically are. And so
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing right now.
Well,
Um,
let's expand on that. I think that's a great title. So what you said, view your
Authentic
authentic,
self.
and that's the gift. And I agree. And I think authenticity, what do I want to say about that? So authenticity is truth. The truth is the gift. Not so I guess what rubs me the wrong way with what I see in the world is a lack of authenticity. And I do feel that is a selfishness on their part, or at least this is through my eyes. It's like
Hmm.
it's like when are you gonna show up and be a gift to the world so I don't feel so burdened in a sense, right? So I don't feel like
Yeah,
because it's like so I don't know when people aren't authentic. I know myself included, we all have a shadow, but it's like there's a heaviness, and I feel like what's coming to me is like I'm carrying the weight of the world because people aren't awake. Um, I think this is bigger than what we had anticipated. Like, because I'm tuning into this. It's like if we all were, so hypothetically, if all of us were
right.
to live in our truth, the entire planet, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the entire planet would light up, be lighter to live in, be more enjoyable and free to live in, and we would experience more pleasure on a day to day, right?
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
You want to
But
expand
not
on that?
everybody knows how to. Well,
Yeah.
I was just going to say that not everybody knows how to do that. So we kind of
Yeah.
come in, and I think that's what we want to happen. And I think that's
Right.
one of the reasons why we're here is to just
Yeah.
be that person. But everybody's upbringing is different, and I don't want to bring childhood trauma into it and things like that, but it kind of skews us a little bit where it's not safe. And I
Yeah.
do recognize the fact that you are, I don't want to say alone, but people are waking up more and more. But I know you have the warrior energy and you are paving the way for others. And I know it is a huge burden for people that are the leaders of paving the way so that others can wake up. That's really difficult
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
carry
Right.
that.
So it is. Yeah. Yeah. So so as I'm taking notes as we go, so we can expand on it. So we're going to talk about the how, and you mentioned childhood trauma. That's like a perfect point of reference that stumps everyone.
Right.
So child's trauma and the how. Yeah, I agree. If people knew how, I mean, look at us it's taken this long for us to be like, all right, I'm not even showing my face yet. Like on the show. Let's like, yeah, yep. One baby step at
Yeah.
a time.
Yep. You know what? But you're here. And that's what's important.
Yeah.
We show up in the ways that we can. And then in the ways that we can't, we have others around us that help us to, be that person or be the mirrors of who we really are.
Yeah.
And I hate to go off on another tangent too, but I mean that I truly believe that the people in our lives, they're mirrors of who we are, whether good, bad, not
Right.
necessarily bad, it's just like a different part of the spectrum, but they help us to see. And you may have a person who can't really see themselves at all, and they're truly an amazing person, but yet they have all these people around them telling them they're amazing, and then that one person who's just like, oh my gosh, they get on my nerves, that's the person where you kind of just need to look at yourself a little bit more to see if where you're punishing yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, my insights aren't as in depth, I have, yeah, I can't totally zone out
No.
at the moment. So
So
so I will know for next time, maybe not on Zoom. You know what I mean?
yeah, whatever. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, it's perfect.
All right, so I want to talk about childhood trauma. I want to talk about the how. I want to talk about all right, so let's go back to being authentic, what that looks like. Well, I'm actually gonna tune in. So for those tuning in that are like, why do we have these avatars? Because if you listen to the first episode, I make a lot of funny faces when I do energy work, and I just don't want that to be in the way. All right, like I start to like spasm and like my hands start moving involuntarily, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just keep this down a little bit, so that I can get the message out because I really don't want to get stuck on that. Um, all right, so I'm gonna tune into the ethers and just see because we're just letting it flow, but I want to see like what we need to talk about or what insight to expand on. So I'm muscle testing the ethers, and I'm going to ask, what direction should we go in together at this time? All right, so they're saying the conversation is awesome. Let's talk about the how. Okay. So the how to be authentic. How? Well, okay. Help me out, Erica. How do we help people
Um,
get into the how?
you got to do the scary stuff. You got to do the hard stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So do what's
That's
there. Yeah.
Yeah, because whenever you start to feel a little uncomfortable, because we as humans, we like to be comfortable. We
Yeah.
don't like to be thrown out of our comfort zone at all. And so when something sparks you or something that just ignites your soul or ignites your passions, but then it's like, oh, well, if I go there, it's like when you start second guessing yourself, that's kind of when it's like, okay, no, this is something I should do. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
different than a fight or flight where it's, if you're in danger or something, that's totally different. But it's like, if it's something that really lights you up, but then you talk yourself out of it, you have
Mm-hmm.
to kind of talk yourself back into it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it lights you up that much, it's happening for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah. I've totally guilty on that one. Totally guilty. Do the
Mm-hmm.
scary stuff. And I swear I want to choke. If I could if there was a God to choke, I would choke God with this topic because I feel like it's maybe an adapted human mechanism that's we'll say it's maladaptive. Like we have the fight or flight mechanism for actual
Mm-hmm.
emergencies. Most most things are not actual emergencies. It's our own inner child having a freak out. And I would
Right.
love to just can that program big time.
But I do have to say, because like you know how sometimes they say you don't know the light unless you have the dark. Like,
Yeah.
how do you know if you've truly accomplished something if you didn't have the struggle?
So
Does that make sense?
yeah, so now you're going to talk to my inner child. I can't stand this mechanism. I just want to play, and I like the idea of contrast. I need the dark for the light. Honestly, again,
Mhm.
screw that. Screw I'm such a baby when it comes to this stuff. I'm like, oh, for God's sakes, why can't it just be easy? It could be. It could be,
It totally could be.
like I want to rewrite the human design, honestly. I can't stand it. Um,
Would you, can I ask, would you
yeah.
get bored if everything were just so fun all the time?
Man, I'd say that would be a good problem.
True,
Yeah, I do
but
experience boredom. Yeah, actually, as in any, if you look in the Enneagram, which I know very little about, I think I'm a
mhm.
7, and a 7 deals with a type of like boredom, the fear of being bored and needs to stay sober in mind. So yeah, this is a big, this, I'm revealing everything. It's
I'm a
like,
two in the
yeah.
Enneagram.
You're a 2? What does that mean?
I'm a two. I'm a people pleaser. I like to take care of people. So there's
Oh,
the healthy two and there's the not healthy two. So I
yeah.
would say maybe about 20 years ago it was not healthy, but now I'm more about 80% too. So um, the unhealthy part is trying to please people at your own
Right,
expense. And so, yeah,
right,
because like as with everything, there's a balance. There's both sides of the spectrum.
right.
But let's go back to you. So that was
Um,
just a small interjection there to
yeah,
give you some
well,
breathing room.
so we're talked about the how doing the scary stuff, like and we're starting to tap into childhood trauma. I mean, we might as well go there because and part of my the frustration as a counselor and a healer is that so much of our struggles are caused, we'll say, for lack of better words, due to childhood traumas. But maybe we can break that down a little more. Um, yes, there are.
Mind if I ask you a couple questions about? Oh,
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, go for it.
Oh, so I was just gonna kind of go back to being bored
Yeah,
and if wishing everything was fun, but it's almost like you are still embodying your spirit form
okay.
because we are spirit inhabiting a human body.
Mm-hmm.
So if everything were fun, how come you didn't just stay as spirit?
I know.
Okay, I was just wondering. You don't have
No,
to
I
answer
know.
it, but I'm just yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. No, I think I recognize that often that there would be no point, there would be no reason to leave heaven then, right? Like the whole point is the contrast and the expansion. Um,
Yes. And you thought coming down here would be fun. Like
I,
a
I,
welcome, you know?
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, so that's what I try to bring is fun, and I get easily shot down because of the density, and
Yes.
and then I heap it on myself. I mean, I just, it's constant battle. Um, like let's keep it light and fun, please. Um, But
I don't think everybody has that capacity as you do.
yeah, but I also have a deep dark side, deep dark side. I mean, there's no denying that. I've been in the depths. So, um I just I know it doesn't have to be that way. So that's kind of the frustration, or the what gets me upset is like, why do we have to do this? This is dumb. This is so dumb. Meaning,
Yes, but
meaning,
also for our listeners too. I don't know if everybody knows that, like, as high as you go, like into the light, is also how low as you go into the dark.
yeah, yeah,
So the higher you go, the higher you expand. You're also going to have some darker tendencies too, because you're stretching that spectrum.
yeah. Thank you for
Okay.
thank you for your educational input in there. Yes, thank you. Um, yes, for all of you listening, with the light comes the dark. But what was it? Okay,
I'm a little
so
more I'm a little more cerebral today.
yeah, good. It's all
Oh,
it's
I
needed.
love this.
Um, so I want to crack open the childhood trauma conundrum. Just for like what's actually happening. So so I'll just see what comes out of my mouth. So
Perfect.
we are in a state of unconscious downloading as children, and we are getting essentially programmed for the rest of our adult life as to how the world is or behaves or treats us, and this is how we're interpreting life essentially. And unfortunately, that to me, again, I'm going to nitpick this mechanism because I think it's ridiculous. And like I said, I want to strangle
Hmm.
God
Yep.
because it's this programming that we end up spending the rest of our life unpacking, undoing, redoing. And I'm like, this is stupid. This whole system is stupid. Like, who wrote this? So so anyway, so and this is all of adult trauma. This is adult circumstances. This is why can't I have blah blah blah? Why can't I be blah blah blah? It's your childhood. It's your childhood. It's your childhood. Okay. So you go into
Yep.
childhood. Yeah, you're constantly diving into people's childhood to help them heal and resolve things, because they were so help me out with their brains, or their hearts and brains could not handle the information at the time and didn't properly
Hmm.
integrate it, and it wasn't so that's what needs to be healed when you're in your adult self, is you then have the capacity to go back and review in a sense and rewire these events because you couldn't at the time when you were a child. Yeah?
Absolutely correct.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yes. So from what I take from what you were saying is, for instance, as a child, a trauma occurs and we have no tools to process what's happening. And so we carry the trauma with us into adulthood, and we react to situations in our adulthood com- based on that trauma.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you are a child who's very creative, you love to draw, you love to sing, you love to do all these different things, but then you have a parent figure that says, you know what, no, study math, do this, that's just art won't get you anywhere, just drop it, let it go. You know what, that's kind of a pretty
Yeah.
tame trauma, but or just not tame. I don't mean to minimize that, but the child loses that faith in themselves or loses that creativity because it's like it's not being fed, it's not worthy. So, oh, that's
Okay.
another good thing, worthiness. But so what they do, yeah, okay, is say, for instance, they avoid creativity.
Hmm.
You know what? This isn't a great example. Um, let's see. Well, in the workplace, say for instance, they need to be creative. It's like, oh well, you know what, Becky? I think this one hit too close to home. So
Oh, I mean, well, I can expand on this art thing. I mean, for
yes,
so
please do, because
okay.
I'm coming up. My words are not coming at the moment.
All right. Well, yeah, so let me help you out here. So when I was growing up, my mom always encouraged me with art. And until I was actually looking at it as a career option, and she put the kibosh on that. And let's say I was about 18 or so, but she's like, "Oh, you won't make any money at
Mhm.
that." And I'm like, "You bitch." You bitch. So, now my brain has, I'm not 6, I'm not 4, but it still was like, "You bitch." To tell me I can't make a living
Mhm.
doing art, if I fucking well please, I will, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, uh-huh. Uh-huh. Um,
How has that affected you today? Still, not to like, dig or anything. I just,
yeah, I don't
is
I
that
don't
something you've had to work through?
100%. And I don't mind being a guinea pig here because I think that the more vulnerable I am with the public is the gift in itself because it allows people to also be vulnerable with themselves, which is a part of this authentic journey, right? Becoming authentic.
Right.
So I'm fine to embarrass the hell out of myself. I don't mind. Because if it makes somebody, like stop being so uptight or, like loosen up with themselves, I'm happy to be the I don't know, the sacrifice. Um
The way shower.
yeah, the way all right, the way shower. All right. But
Sacrifice. No,
so
works both ways.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Um so yeah, it has messed with me. What it actually helped me do was to keep my art more private and more, and for that we could say more sacred. So I use art to replenish myself and nourish myself. Being a healer, I need that more than ever because of the depths that I go with people, and it's so, it's like a heavy burden. Um, to bring somebody out of that, I can't help but have what we say like occupational hazards,
Mhm.
um,
Right.
so the art is a way for me to stay balanced and I can keep it personal. Now, I am public with art as well, and I have been holding myself back for sure because of what she said. And now it's just like, I don't know, now it just gets me angry. But it takes a lot of effort to undo that. You know what I mean? I won't let it stop me,
Right.
but it takes too much effort than I would like to
Understood.
overcome it. Yeah.
When it should be something that just flowed out of you naturally, as when you were 6 or when you were
Right.
younger.
Right. Exactly.
Hmm.
So that's my story. I don't know. Did that hit home for you? And do you want to share anything on that topic?
Oh, I'd love to sing. That was my
Oh,
thing. I absolutely love to sing, like belt out 80s ballads.
nice. Nice. So,
I mean, I was in my mind as a child,
mhm.
I was really good. Like Whitney Houston's Greatest Love of All, that was my go-to. Um, and I wanted to be on Star Search because I knew that I would just blow them away. And I wanted singing lessons. I wanted to do so many different things, but that was one of the things that I really, really wanted to do. Um, but it just never manifested. We moved around a lot, and so it's like, hmm, Yeah, you know what, Becky? I don't know why, but I am just getting tongue-tied. Like it just maybe
Okay.
that vulnerability is not
Yeah.
wanting to come through.
Okay. All right. So
So
I'm going to interject for a second. So one of the
yep,
things I learned about artistic expression and self-nourishing is that it doesn't have to be, and again, this maybe was the gift in my mom saying that, is I'm going to make this jewelry, for instance, as an example, I make jewelry. I'm going to make this jewelry for me. It's not for anyone else's pleasure but my own. And so
right.
singing, singing as an example, there's nothing stopping you from saying, I am a singer, and singing in your home and never selling your work, but because it nourishes you and you're doing it. So who's to say that you're not a singer just because, you're not famous? You know what I mean?
Right.
Is
No,
it-
I absolutely agree. And I think what my issue is here, not necessarily issue, but my blockage is because I've never actually worked through it. And so
Okay.
I've sang in choirs, and I've been wanting to write a song. And I even bought all the equipment, set myself up with the microphone, a little MIDI player, hooked it all up to the computer. And it's like there's nothing comes out.
The
I bought all the tools. And so I think it's just a lot of unprocessed stuff that I haven't done
mhm.
creatively, but it's really interesting because since coming, you know, out of the closet per se,
Yeah.
I've actually moved more towards wanting to do those things, wanting to write, wanting to sing, wanting to do those creative things that I've put off doing for so long.
Yeah.
So living
Yeah.
authentically. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is like once you start living more authentically, the things that give you passion,
Speed check reported ahead on I-17.
the things that give you passion
Yeah.
are the things that really are the important things that need to be you have to pay attention to.
Yeah. And nurtured and
So
cultivated.
yes.
And these things are food for the soul. And now another topic that fits into my profession is that too often people are misusing food and having addictive tendencies because they're not doing these things that actually nourish them, that have nothing to do with food whatsoever, because it's feeding the soul.
Guilty.
Oh, we're all guilty. Come on. Right? It's like, let me just eat
Oh,
this food because I don't have the strength or the how or the capacity to allow myself what would really nourish me, because that takes too much courage.
right. So numbing out.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. It's
So,
funny because that's actually what I'm working with. So you kind of read me right there. Like for the example you gave was just like, okay, yep, that's totally it. That's totally it. And it's really interesting too because I have been on this weight loss journey,
hmm.
but it seems that no matter what I do, sometimes I just keep sabotaging myself.
Yeah, the
And
saboteur. Hmm.
yeah, because as I lose weight, those stored emotions are being released. And it's like, okay, if I'm having a stressful week at work and these emotions are released because, oh my gosh, I've lost 5 pounds and not realizing like those vibrations that are being released as the weight is being lost.
Hmm.
And I don't have the wherewithal to be like, oh gosh, how do I deal with what's coming up? The shit that I covered up is now uncovered and I'm stressed from work. So, you know what? Takeout does sound really good right now
Yeah.
versus let me go home and make myself, some chicken and some brown rice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's, yeah.
I hear you. I hear you. I find that when I am nourishing myself, my soul, I can easily drop a few pounds just because I'm more in alignment
Mhm.
with myself.
Right.
Yeah, my appetite changes, food desires change. I'm just happier on the inside. I'm not using food as a substitute.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yep, yep, yep. And we all do it. All right. So we won't say that we're all
Yeah.
guilty. We'll say we're all learning our authentic self.
Yes. All, yes. So it kind of
Um, yeah.
ties on childhood trauma too,
Yeah.
of just, you know, part of me wants to pull over Becky just so I could, you know, talk
Well,
and not have to pay
there's
attention.
it's up to you. I mean, it's totally fine.
So, but yeah, how it all just ties into the childhood trauma of not being good enough.
Oh, that one. All right,
And
let's tackle that one. So not good enough. Let me tell you, this is again because I'm in the people's shadow every day, and this not
mhm,
good enough is like some kind of ridiculous. I find it ridiculous that we give this so much weight. Not good enough. Give me a break. We are all victims of this one, right?
absolutely.
Please tell me what you don't feel good enough about so I can dissect it and destroy it.
Who, me?
Yeah, yeah. What were you like when you say
Oh,
childhood? Like what?
okay. You know what? It's funny because it's been a dark, dreary day this whole drive.
Oh,
And the minute you said that, I looked up and there's this one section of blue sky
oh,
shining through the clouds. And
oh,
I'm like, oh.
oh. That's for you. Yeah.
So, okay, that's really not avoidance. So the question was, what do I not feel good about or not feel good enough? Or
Yes.
it's a whole general thing. It's life. No matter what I do, I think I set my bar way too high.
Okay.
And I know it stems from growing up, always hearing, oh, I got an A. Well, how come you didn't get an A plus? Or, oh my gosh, look, I hit this. How come you didn't, I hit this ball to the tennis courts. Well, how come you didn't hit it past the tennis courts? Or, um, look, I got this, you know, I did this amazing thing. It's like, oh, well, someone else can do it better. There,
Mhm.
it's always never enough. And that's my childhood trauma of just never being good enough,
Which
no matter
parent taught you
what I
that?
do.
Which parent is that coming from?
Oh, that's my dad.
Your dad. Okay. So did
Yeah.
is your dad like a star like that's his shadow that he projected onto you from that's his shit and how he was brought up, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yep, I am aware of that, but it doesn't always take away. Like, I would probably say about 70%. Okay, no, it's more like 60 that
Okay.
I'm usually pretty good. But when I'm not exercising, when I'm not working out, I'm not eating right, when I'm not sleep, those autopilots, just start coming back up.
Yeah.
Know how we just are knee jerk reactions to things. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, that's why it's so important for me to get my sleep, go to the gym, do all these things. And I think that's for everybody is to, get the exercise, eat well, get the sunshine, all that good stuff. But yeah,
Okay.
it's that autopilot that comes up that says, no matter what you're doing, Erica, you're not good enough. No matter what you do, it's never going to be good enough. And there's something always better out there. So why even try?
Okay. So your dad did
That's
a lot of
that's what
damage,
it is, Becky.
right? Your dad did a lot of damage. Do you want to unpack
Yeah.
a little of that today while we do this?
Sure.
Okay. I'm freaking furious at him. I'm gonna choke him. All right. All right, so let's see. Let me tune into your energy field. All right, we're gonna look there. One second, everyone. I'm tapping into the ethers. Okay, so what if we put it in the proper context? Let's see. So your dad. So this is coming from your dad's energy. Mother. Okay. Let's see where that. Okay. Ancestral. So we'll call it an ancestral imprint, right? So from your grandfather. An ancestral imprint is what I'm seeing. All right. So let's ask. See, when my throat, as I'm clearing my throat, you know what that's about. All right, it's good stuff. Let's see. So let's talk to the heavens. We're gonna say, I'm getting these stupid prompts. Excuse me. Okay, so we're gonna say a prayer together. We're gonna say divine intelligence. We ask that this ancestral imprint on the paternal side, and I think it goes far, but we're just going to start it, that it be canceled, cleared, and deleted, and let love be sent to it so that Erica feels all of that love. In fact, we ask that she be replenished from all those decades of mental and emotional neglect and abuse. All right, so now my hands are moving. Now, I could have said that prayer a lot better and we can go deeper, but because we're doing a recording and all that good stuff, but I just want to at least scratch the surface.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, and it's good too because driving, I can't necessarily tune in very well at the moment.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. I just want to give people a little taste of speaking things into existence. And what I really want to emphasize is that we request to the universe that you be replenished from all of that was quote unquote lost in that way of being that he showed you, so that all of the good that was being held back now can come to you almost as a repayment. Does that make sense?
yes,
Okay.
complete sense.
Okay. So I just want to pause and just give a little context to some of the way that I teach is I grabbed this from Dr. David Hawkins, and he teaches this triangle. The top of the triangle is the higher self or authentic self or Holy Spirit, whatever word you want to use. And then the two base points on the triangle are who and what we're battling in the psyche every day. We have the child in one corner and we have the adult in the other corner. And the adult is more of that tyrannical adult of all of the negative stuff that we heard growing up that we just put in a box, right? We stored it up.
Right.
And then it shows up as a program in our adulthood and screws us up.
Well said.
So he would say something like, so as an example, he would say like, okay, if you have an addiction to food, he would say, ask yourself, pause and ask yourself, who's showing up to the meal? Is it the child? Or is it the authentic self? Or is it the tyrannical adult? It's almost often the child that like just wants the ice cream or just wants this or blah blah blah. And then what happens is after you actually eat the thing that the child wants, then you get the tyrannical adult saying, well, you shouldn't have done that and blah blah blah, you know, and then it's all the guilt and the shame and the blah blah blah, right? But
Right.
if you pause and allow for the higher self to be present, there's a good chance you won't even eat what you were going for. But the more that you practice and know that that's the architecture in the psyche, then you can make better choices. And that's the practice.
That's really awesome.
Yay.
That's really awesome, Becky, because it provides a tool, to reframe things.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. Who show up?
Yeah, I'm glad you like it. And then and then, if you have this conscious architecture, you can then talk to the child or talk to the adult, like, like start like debating them if you need to. But anyway, the point is having the awareness that it's there, then you can navigate better.
Right. No, that's great.
Yeah.
And it's like whenever anything comes up, it's like, okay, well, who's here? So,
Right.
It is just the awareness, because once you have the awareness, it just all expands from there.
Right.
So no, I really love that. Thank you.
Sure. So the not good enough, unfortunately, is a program that we all seem to be riddled with, and the unworthiness. And it's really interesting because if everyone on the planet doesn't feel good enough, well, that's kind of, doesn't that cancel the whole damn program?
Absolutely. Right, because if we're all unworthy, we're all in the same boat. So
Yeah.
why should it even be an issue, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Everyone is suffering with this. So, okay, move on. Done.
Yeah. And then it goes back to, it's like you have to trust the people around you. And that's why it's so important to surround yourself with amazing fucking people like yourself,
Yeah.
that help reflect back, your greatness, your brilliance, so that you could see that you are not unworthy. No matter how hard you try to be unworthy, it's like, no.
Yeah.
It's a lie. It's a lie.
And
Because I think we're all inherently worthy.
well, yeah, when you really dissect it, it's like, what are we really talking about here? Worthy. Like who made that? Who made that up? And where's the scale? And who decides? Like it's all, again, it's all crap in the end. Like there's so much loopholes in it, and yet the program still runs and takes us all down.
Right. Exactly.
Hmm. So, well, let's see. So I would hope that, let me see how we're doing on time. We're almost at an hour. I think the big takeaways today are we're all in this together. We're all dealing with wounded inner children in our psyche. We are all struggling with worthiness and not good enough. Our goal here as adults is to heal the inner child and to press through to be as authentic as humanly possible in this lifetime. And in doing so, we lighten our load and we feel happier and healthier in the end, and we inspire others to do the same. Yeah?
That was incredible. That was incredible. So I do have to say that, a couple of friends listened to the podcast, our last one,
Yeah.
and they're saying like, wow, she's really fabulous. She really knows what she's doing. She really ties it all together. But more than once, you've been fabulous. So, and I wholeheartedly agree with that. And for you how you just dissect and summarize and lead the conversation, it's incredible, Becky. So
Aw, thank
you're
you.
incredible.
You're incredible.
No, you are.
No, you. So, so I guess yeah, I'm gonna pause the recording. I think we want to keep, I mean, for the listeners, we want to do this like monthly, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I know the last time we talked, like there were going to be 3. I think like the 3, and this is our second, so there's going to be a third, but then it's going to shift. I don't know how, but
Okay.
I think it's going to be the same, but maybe we just find our ground and our footing and kind of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, I love this. I love the monthly. So
Yeah, me too. Okay.
and I won't be driving next time. So
Yeah, no, that it worked. It's fine. It's you're dedicated. I love it.
yes, I am.
All right, so for everyone listening, we're going to keep rolling once a month, and if you want to get in touch with either one of us and interject as to topics or what you'd like to hear or know more about, maybe we'll have people on the program like as a test bunny maybe, and we can help them maybe. Different things like
Oh,
that, right? We can
yeah, no, that'd be fun.
yeah, whatever. I'm up for anything. So but thank you all for
Yep.
listening.